Hello, you're welcome to Isaac Pro Ancestry. Here we have Cisco Certified Cyber Associate understanding Cisco Cybersecurity Operations Fundamentals. We are talking about CB Hubs 200-201. Alright, so we are going to be diving into some questions and answers today. So I want you to get ready to dive deep into an hands-on lab experience where we crack professionals exam questions together. So this session is all about you mastering the skills you need to excel with details, explanations, and step-by-step guidance. So don't just study, understand, practice, and conquer the toughest challenge to boost your confidence and ace your exams. So we're going to be looking at some questions and do some hands-on lab on them. Right, and our question is going to be focusing on the network security monitoring tools. Okay, so the first questions I have there is which data types is necessary to get information about source/destination spot. All right, so we have our options there. We talk about large data, connectivity data, statistic data, session data. So, but let's try to use one of the tools and to capture some packets, data packets, and then see what kind of data are we actually do we actually need to get all this information in terms of whether source and destination port numbers are IP address and all that. So I'll quickly dive into workstations. There. So I have my Kali and then as well as some metasploitable machine. So right. So and what I'm going to do is like I just want to send some traffic to the other workstations. Then we capture the data and then we can be able to get all those informations the question is talking about. Right, so the first thing I can do is to make sure, so I have my IP address to the metasploit, so I'll even try to remotely connect to it so that we can capture the data I was going to. But what kind of tools can we use to capture all those data? So we have something like Wireshark. Alright, so what I would do is to, the Wireshark is a sniffer, it's a packet sniffer software that we use to capture data. So I can call up that Wireshark, okay? I can always call up the Wireshark and then calling up the Wireshark. Now, so I wanted to take note of something here. Now you'll see that I have all these interfaces. That's ETHO, NA, back, and all that. And then you have nothing in line. So by the time I send some traffic, you kind of identify, you kind of see some traffic that is going off, some wave will appear in one of these interfaces. I think to give us a sign that there's something going on in that interface. Now these are interfaces, these are connections. Because if you look at, let me quickly go back to before this, probably I should end it, or let me come up with another terminal so that I won't interrupt this Wireshark. So I can click on this now to come up with another terminal. Okay, so I'll come with another terminal. So this is another terminal, so I can just like, all right, so let me just say, I'll say if config. All right, so we use if config to get the information of your configurations, IP configurations of the systems, like here. So in Windows we use IP config, in Windows we use and then in Linux we use if config. Now here now I have my interface. You can see that ETHO, that is the interface here, and we have low. So these are interfaces like that. So which means on my Wireshark here, so if you come back to my Wireshark here, so if I want to capture any of these interfaces, so click on them, then you start capturing every traffic that is passing along those interfaces. Right, so in this case now, so my interface that has to go out so that I can connect to this metasploitable machine has to do with ETHO. So you should get that. So that's the interfaces, in the interface, the connectivity that is allowing us to connect to this metasploitable is this ETHO. So which means if I'm sending a traffic out to any workstation out there, it has to pass along the ETH service traffic. Okay, so how do we now see? Let's check something now. So let me say like, okay, let me send a traffic to, yes, I actually use this, my metasploitable is actually also one of the servers. Try to go to a site. You can see if I should click on the, so this is a browser. Now on my browser now I can't, so let me just go to one of the sites here that we are hosting on that server. So this is the site now. So now you can see that it has opened. Now if you go back to our now look at what we have here. Can you see that we now have some traffic going? You can see that we now have some traffic going along this interface. Alright, so which means I can now click on this interface and start to capture some details there. So clicking on it, I'll go to start capturing. So we'll start capturing every traffic passing through that interface. So I can start to capture them. Can you see that? Now you can look at here, you can see capturing from what? ETHO. So which means every traffic that's going along that interface is going to be capturing that. Alright, good. So now another thing we can do, you can see here now, even with this, we can be able to get some information from here. It talks about the source and the destination. Question is asking us which particular interface, which particular connectivity data that we need to capture all those informations. And as we can see from here, we already have some information about our source and destination port. So if I click on any of these packets, then you can as well get the source, destination, the ports, protocols that is associated to it, the protocol that is associated to that particular packet, right? Okay, so I can also send some other traffics. Let's say maybe let me quickly SSH to this metasploitable. So I'll do SSH. Yes, then I know there is an account. For you to do a remote connections, you must have when it has to do with SSH, you must be aware of the particular user's account there, and as well as the password. So I know that metasploitable has MSF admin. Yes, then I'll put at then the IP address of that destination, so which is 209.165.200.235. okay, so then it's trying to connect. Alright, now it's asking me for a password, then I can put the password. Yeah, you can see that I have a new prompt here. That's MSF admin at metasploitable. Now go back, let's come back to Wireshark. So you can see a lot of information that has to do with that is there. Computer SSH, so to see some of the one that has to do with SSH, so I'll filter. You can see the source, the destination. If I click on that, here I have my, now you can get my IP address of the source and the IP address of the destination, as well as the TCP. So if you look there, TCP, we have the source port, the destination port knowledge, and the port is 22. The destination port number is 22. The source port is 44209. So I believe we can now see what kind of data. Now, if you look at this data we capture now is a packet that has to do with this interface, which is a connectivity interface, because this interface is the one that is linking us to this metasploitable machine. Okay, that's what I just wanted to get from this now. So if we come back to we come back to our question, we see which data type is necessary to get information about source/destination port. So as we can see, the port and destination port, and you can see that the data we capture, the data types we capture there, which is for our packets, it has nothing to do with alert data, but it has something to do with connectivity data. So because that ETHO has to be a connectivity data that we captured. So it's not a statistic data, it's not a session data. So we can go with option B. Believe that. Okay, thank you. Now, so moving to our next question is this network security monitoring tools. So which open source packet capturing tools use Linux and Mac OS operating systems? All right, so let's quickly talk about packet capturing tools. So network security monitoring tools. We have some common tools that we use for network security monitoring, and they include your network protocols analyzers, such as Wireshark that we use, and TCP DOMs. We also have net flows. We have security information and event management systems, and it is common for security analysts to always rely on logs, files, and simple network management protocols for network behaviors and discovery. So it's good that we look into our logs files, and as well we should have is simple network management protocols that we can use to monitor and as well to get information about our network behaviors. Right, then we have the network protocols analyzers. So we also refer to them as packet sniffers applications, and they are programs used to capture traffic, just the way we use Wireshark. As we can see, the Wireshark display here. So it will help you to capture your traffic, just like the way we see the capturing of our SSH as well as our web capturing files. The protocol analyzers, they also display what is happening on the network through a graphical user interface. And we also have network protocols analyzers not only used for security analysis, but also used for network troubleshooting. We use it for software and protocol development and education. Then as shows in the figure, Wireshark is used in Windows. We have Wireshark that we can install in Windows as well. We can install in Linux. We can install them in the Mac OS environment. So it's very useful tools for learning network protocols communications. Okay, then and the frames captured by Wireshark are saved in a pickup files. The extensions of the file is pickup files that contains information regarding the frame, regarding the interface, regarding the packet length, the timestamps, and all binary files sent across the network. So Wireshark can open files containing captured traffic from all the softwares, such as TCP DOM. So I can just like where we have it, I can save some TCP DOMs, capture files, and open them with Wireshark for more analysis. So example, in the command output, display samples of TCP DOMs. So a ping packet. So a ping packet, so I can just this is like ping packet of the TCP DOMs. I just captured it. So you have to know that Windows is a Microsoft Windows variant of TCP DOM. So we don't actually have a TCP DOMs utility on Windows. And as well, we have a T-Shark is a Wireshark command line tools that is similar to what TCP DOMs. So Windows doesn't have TCP DOMs utility, right? So with these little explanations, we'll come back to our question. So looking at this question, so which open source packet capture tools uses Linux and Mac OS operating systems? one thing we need to understand about this question is talking about open source packet capturing tools. So the question is emphasizing about open source, not the one that you pay for, the one that you can just pick online, being an open source that is available publicly for anybody to pick up the tools and use it. Then, and another thing we need to discover from this question is emphasizing on Linux and macOS operating systems. So it's not talking about the one you can use with Windows. And you're saying that okay, this thing is an open source and is also used in Linux and macOS. So Windows is not inclusive. All right, so now let's look at the options that we have here. We have the first option, so the Netscode. So Netscode, SolarWinds, these are not an open source. They are not open source, and you have to pay for it to, you pay for SolarWinds. Yes, they are also for monitoring. They are used for analyzing network traffic as well, but they are not open source. They're not available, and even they have a software for both Windows and as well as Linux systems. Then if you look at our third option, which has to do with NetShells, and then so for the NetShell is a Windows command line utility that allow you to display or you modify the network configuration settings of a Windows running computer. So NetShells has to be a utility for Windows. It's a utility for Windows for you to do your network configurations on Windows. Yeah. Now, but the TCP DOMs. TCP DOMs is Linux and macOS. Is a utility for Linux and macOS. Okay, so looking at the questions, and is available, is pre-installed on Linux environment, Linux operating system as well as macOS, because it's an open source. So you're not paying to use it. So it's an open source packet capturing tools. So our answer will be D. Good. Alright, so I believe you learned one or two things. So I want you to like this and comment, share, and subscribe. Then thank you for watching. So we'll see you another time for another edition. Thank you.